Professor Walter, everywhere we hear the word deglobalization. Will that really happen? Or are we already so much globalized that there is no going back?
I don't think there's ever no going back. We actually had a period of very high globalization levels before, in the late 19th century, early 20th century. And then, with the First World War, everything collapsed. It took until the 1980s for us to reach levels again like we had at the turn of the century. So, it's not like this cannot happen at all. That said, we are, of course, much more globalized even than we've ever been before. There are many interests to keep these levels. We've talked about prices and so on, that, we benefit as consumers. On so many levels, we benefit from globalization. So I think there's strong reasons to maintain it, but I don't think we can just take it for granted because it's here now.
Except for rising prices of products and services, what would deglobalization mean for us all?
So I think that's a good question, like why? So I think it relates to the question of why is it deglobalizing? Is it really security, geopolitical things? That often then also really comes joined with a lot of tensions, also security risks, also perhaps really war and conflict. That of course would be something that we can all really feel very, very closely. But I think in general there will be lots of disruptions if this happens. And if we reduce globalization, this also means that borders go up. Travel will become more expensive. Everything is so easy now. We cross borders, goods cross borders, capital cross borders, people cross borders. All of this could become much more difficult in the future.
We see a power game between China and the United States. Will be Europe more and more irrelevant when it comes to this power game?
I think we have these two big powers, China and the US, and I think this is actually one of the big strategic tasks for Europe to position itself. Europe also has a lot of things going for it. Sometimes it's also best not to be sort of, in the middle of this conflict, but I think Europe also has to be careful and carve out its own niche. I think one big question is, will it really be sort of a bipolar world, really like led by the US and China? Will we have more of a multipolar world where other world regions also play a bigger role? I think this will have major implications for Europe. And I think Europe can also do things to shape this very question. And I think that's something that Europe really needs to step up to do.
Thank you so much for your valuable insights, Professor Walter.
You're welcome. Thank you.